US military personnel are not in South Africa to protect government officials. The South African National Defence Force has spoken out against claims made on social media, calling the statement ludicrous. They say the US Army's Southern European Task Force is in the country to conduct a joint peace support operation and humanitarian relief exercise with local forces. I'm joined now by SANDF spokesperson Brigadier General Andries Mahapa. Brigadier General, thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. So first of all, where do you think this claim comes from and what's behind it?
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to your viewers as well. We are actually disappointed as a South African National Defence Force and the members of the South African public as well that anyone within South Africa can really publish that kind of information, misleading and somehow create unnecessary fear to the people of South Africa. I don't know what is the intent. However, as a South African National Defence Force, we condemn the social media post alleging that the US soldiers are deployed in South Africa to protect certain government officials. There's no truth to that matter whatsoever. This is not the first time that the US Army is here in South Africa. For the first time, they were here in 2011 when we were doing joint exercise that we codename Operation Share Accord 2011, and then we continue again in 2013 and 2017. For the other 2 to 3 years, we could not do that because of COVID. So this is the fourth one that is taking place at the KZN around Richards Bay. It's the fourth exercise that we are doing with Americans. It's got nothing to do in terms of protecting any government official whatsoever. As the Defence Force, we are really surprised and ashamed that the South African member can really go to that matter and that far to post something like that in terms of instilling fear unnecessary. So as a National Defence Force, we reiterate that US Army in South Africa are here for joint exercise, not for any other agenda as speculated on social platform. Moreover, SANDF wants to assure all South Africans that multinational exercise named Share Accord, as I said earlier on, has nothing to do with protecting any government officials. They are here for pure joint military training exercise.
Brigadier General, sorry, just to interrupt you there, can you tell us a little bit more about the aims and the parameters of this joint exercise? You've mentioned training. We've also mentioned in our introduction there humanitarian relief exercises, joint peace support operation. For ordinary citizens, a lot of that doesn't necessarily make sense. It's SANDF jargon. So can you explain to us exactly what's going to take place?
Okay, this is inter-operational to conduct maritime force protection, just to protect our maritime and to protect the sea and the harbor in case there's any asymmetric threat or any conventional threat that may come into our shore. We're also there jointly with the US Army to conduct air support operation for peace support operation in landward forces. And we also exercise the provision of medical assistance between the two countries in terms of humanitarian relief for own forces and to protect the people of South Africa should we have any asymmetric threat within the Republic of South Africa. That is the purpose in terms of preparing ourselves as South Africa Defence Force for any eventualities, because South Africa is here to protect the Republic of South Africa, its territory, and all the citizens that are living in the Republic. So we need to be ready at all times. That's why we are doing this joint exercise with the American soldiers.
And is that normal standard procedure for many countries around the world to cooperate with the armies of an international nation?
It is a normal procedure. Like I said earlier on, it's not the first time. This is the fourth year that we are conducting this multi-international exercise. Not only South Africa is involved in this. Other Africa states, even the Europe states, they do have a joint exercise with other countries within the continent itself. Remember, South Africa is not an isolation. We are all really cooperating with other State Department and other international government department, not only in military, in other all aspects in terms of services, so that we can improve ourselves for any eventualities that will be facing South Africa. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time either.
Brigadier General, don't you think it might eliminate this kind of unnecessary speculation on social media if you were to perhaps share details of these kind of joint exercises that are in planning with South Africans before South Africans see, for instance, a US military aeroplane landing and are left only to speculate because they have had no details or communication from the SANDF prior to that?
No, I fully agree with you, but that is not true. We released a statement prior the arrival of the U.S. Army to South Africa that we are going to do this multinational exercise. The statement was released. I'm not sure where does all this fake news coming from.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much for clearing that up. We've been speaking to SANDF spokesperson Brigadier General Andries Mahapa about the presence of US military personnel here in South Africa, and that is to conduct joint military operations and not to protect South African politicians.